Hello there and welcome to the Disgustingly Healthy Relationship Podcast. I'm Lewis.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are your hosts.
Beautiful people, it's 2024. We are no longer settling for mediocre, toxic and shitty relationships.
Instead, we are choosing healthy, secure and conscious love.
Lewis and I are here to challenge and expand you on all fronts when it comes to healthy relationships.
So, if you're ready for unfiltered conversations
and massive impact,
then let's play. Hello and welcome to our podcast. We are so delighted to finally start something of our own. I think it's been a long time coming, as I think Sarah and I are both the go-to people when it comes to relationships in our friendship groups. Isn't that right? So we thought it was about time we started sharing our contribution to the world and helping people out with their relationships and giving advice on what a healthy relationship is really all about, because that's what we're really fucking good at it, to be honest with you.
And also, you've been trying to pin me down to work with you for well over a year.
I have.
So this was definitely a long time coming.
I have, yeah. And you just avoided me like you avoided our relationship for
Guilty.
a long time.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we will get into that. But yeah, first of all, I think whoever is listening at the moment, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we do have quite a lot to say, and we're going to make this really fun and like sort of like a laid back conversation, but also give you a tremendous amount of value when it comes to your relationships. So
yeah, it's essentially about combining our skills as well. Like you've got heaps of skills in, say, podcasting, coaching.
I've got a lot of interpersonal skills.
Interpersonal skills. Like I'm not saying because I'm you have a lack of skills. I'm saying because I'm like, what one's linked directly to the podcast? But anyway, your skills combined with my skills of like working with people for the last 10 years. Coaching, writing, all these things that we share.
Yeah. Like
they're the perfect combination for a podcast, essentially. And obviously our relationship as well. And our approach to relationships, and in particular healthy relationships,
100%.
is just the perfect recipe for a great podcast.
100%. I feel like we've got fairly similar views on like non-healthy relationships too.
Well, he said it now. So when you hear our many disagreements in the podcast, you'll think back to the episode where Lewis thought we had... No, I'm joking. I'm sure we do.
Yeah, I think we do. So don't you say we do, because we do.
I think so. I don't want to commit to something now. Okay. But yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So yeah, what we'll do is we'll firstly start off with how we actually came about.
And we as in like our relationship.
Yeah, so that's what I'm alluding to. Raw. Yeah, so our relationship started a couple of years ago. Not officially. Not officially, but the way
the story began.
Sorry, thank you.
That's okay.
That's so nice.
From the beginning.
I
got you.
Yep. So from the beginning,
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't seen that video.
No, in the beginning. You haven't seen that?
No.
Actually.
No, I want to see it and misspell it.
Oh my god! When I show you that video, you're gonna absolutely piss yourself because it's literally you just.
In the beginning. Okay, so
also just side note, apologies about the porky chihuahua. She's a little bit porky at the minute. If she makes any noises in the background, this is just our dog and she's a part of our environment, and so it's probably going to be inevitable that she trips up. Yeah,
she'll pop at some point.
She's already clinging to our legs thinking, why on earth are you speaking to a little black box?
What are you doing?
I need attention.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
Anyway.
Starting from the start. So I was traveling up the east coast of Australia, and we are here based in Gold Coast at the moment. So I was flying from Sydney up to the Gold Coast, and with my friends, we were just going to travel about, and we all love the Gold Coast anyway. So we stayed up here for a few days, and here's me in my hostel room, flicking through Bumble, and who might I come across? Little Miss Maxwell. So we ended up chatting a fair bit actually, but never actually met up.
It's annoying that we can't remember what was said first. I wish I could remember my introducing line.
You said something sarcastic, and
It probably was sarcastic.
it doesn't surprise
Sounds
me.
very much like me.
But
it captured your attention. You're like,
well,
oh.
I mean, it did. I mean, I swiped on you first. No, I did because I
It's
got
not
a
a
notification coming through saying, "Oh, Sarah has swiped you or liked you or something." However it went.
Yeah, so up until
But-
at this point, I had literally just moved back to the Gold Coast after being in the UK for 6 months. So I think I'd been back like a week.
Yeah.
And I was obviously a bit hungry because I was on the dating apps immediately. Within a week of being back, I was like, right, I don't even know which ones I was on at that point, but obviously I was on Bumble.
Yeah, gotta get myself back on the old horse.
Okay, I'm allergic to horses.
Oh my god, yeah, you are.
No horses, no horses. Cancel the horse. Cancel.
Cancel. Yeah, so I was in the Gold Coast, and then I ended up moving. Oh, actually, I went and did more traveling. So I went to Tasmania, I went to Melbourne, did the Great Ocean Road, and then I was planning on coming back to the Gold Coast, but I wasn't sure when. I then ended up living in WA.
You've skipped a whole bit of the story.
Have I?
Yeah, a whole bit.
What have I skipped then?
So essentially, when we were chatting, we tried to meet up and we couldn't.
That's
because you were in the Gold Coast for like one day. Oh, it turns out we were in the same beach club on the same day without realizing. I think we matched maybe the day later.
Yeah.
And you were leaving that day. So you'd left, but we'd already matched and started chatting.
Yeah.
And that day you told me that you'd tried everything in your power to try and get back to Gold Coast by train or by bus. Bearing in mind, we hadn't even met at this point. So you could consider this sweet or creepy. It depends on the person. I can confirm it's very sweet, but could be considered creepy.
It could be.
So you tried every means of trying to get back to the Gold Coast and back to Brisbane in time for your flight.
Yeah.
Because you had a flight.
Yeah, I had a flight from Brisbane to Tasmania.
Yeah, and you were like, oh, I was going to surprise you.
Do you know where I was? I was up in Noosa. Right?
Noosa? You're going to try and come back down from... Wow, I'm honoured.
Wait, was I in Noosa?
I don't know, but the story you told me, maybe it was a lie now and it's all coming out. You're like, I ain't coming down anywhere for this bitch. I'm just going to tell her I was going to surprise her.
I did, because I remember telling my friend that I remember having a conversation with him saying, look, is it worth me going down for a couple hours to then come back up?
The travel.
Because I had like a 4-hour gap or something like that where my flight had been delayed or something like that. I think it was. Not delayed. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm delusional. I've had too much sun. Anyway, nevertheless.
So that was the little snippet that you missed out.
Yeah.
We couldn't meet up because there wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
So we just were pen pals.
We just parked it, and then we ended up
dreaded pen pals.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we put each other in the friend zone for a while.
Well, yeah. What would be the point of considering as anything else? We're so far away.
I know exactly. And then I ended up moving to WA, and then started my own podcasts. During that process, I think during that time we still had a lot of good conversations. We spoke a lot, like at least once or twice a week.
What? I don't think it was that much.
It was definitely once a week. I think we.
Who the hell are you speaking to? Because it was not me.
I think we went through a period of.
There's maybe a few times where we would have spoke twice in a week, but most of the time I would say it was like once a month, and it would be like a FaceTime or a call. But it was definitely not once or twice a week for like
we used to
8 months.
Send each other stuff all the time, like memes and that.
Nudes? No jokes.
Sarah, I can't confirm no nudes for
Send
sure.
nudes.
Why are you saying damn now? You get to see me naked all the time.
Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway.
So I ended up getting Sarah on my podcast, and funnily enough, we spoke about
love and relationships.
We did indeed.
And healthy relationships.
We did for about an hour or so. I think we did. It was.
So this is about 8 months. So 8 months since we'd matched.
Yeah, since we
matched.
That
we did the podcast together.
Yeah, we did that, and then that was in October.
Yeah. Oh, 10 months.
No, it wasn't October. Was it? It was August. It was August.
We're not very good at these dates, are we?
No, we should have really collated this information. But anyway.
I thought we knew our story, but maybe we don't.
I know a brief version, but going into the details, some blurred lines.
It's okay. We're here now.
Thanks. And then I ended up coming back to the Gold Coast because I knew I was going to live here. so came and spent 5 days here, in November time, just before I went back home to Scotland.
Just before my birthday.
Just before your birthday, that's what it was. Spent 5 days, had a look around to see what areas and stuff I wanted to live in when I got here, and to see my other friends, and then that's when it happened.
That was when it happened. That was the first time we got to meet. So it was January that we first met, and it was we first matched. Sorry, and it was November that we first met.
Yeah, so a good 10 months.
Yeah, pretty much. And I planned a cute little day out for us.
Yes, you did. We went.
So I got us some fruit and some snacks and picked you up and took you to the creek. And we went and sunbathed and we swam and we played. Okay, so this is when we knew we were both really weird. I really loved bat and ball at the time. I don't know if you played it or not, but like, what do people call it? Pickleball, like little wooden bats with little squishy ball.
It's just
I just call it bat and ball because it's
beach bat and ball.
Yeah,
beach bat and ball.
I love that game, and I for some reason didn't bring it with me, but I really wanted to play it with Lewis.
Yeah.
So first time I've met him, I'm like, fuck it, let's just play it with our water bottles and a scrunched up chip bag or like packet of crisps that I'd like folded up into like a knot. So here we are trying to just get a rally of at least two, hitting this crisp packet back and forth with our water bottles.
And
the fact that you were willing to just partake in this stupid, ridiculous activity, I was like, we're going to be friends for a very long time. You still lived in the friend zone.
Oh yeah, no, it's firmly still in the friend zone, but I think that might have changed when, what was the romantic gesture I did when you went away for your birthday?
So after that we went to watch sunset. Actually, we got ice cream. You got me ice cream and we went to watch sunset on the hill. And then a few days later, it was my 30th. I was away with some of my best friends in Byron, and we were staying in an Airbnb. And the day that I got there, this beautiful bunch of flowers arrived. And I was like, wow, look at these flowers. They're so stunning. Hey, girls, look. And they were like, oh my God, who are they from? And I was like, they're from my friend Lewis. And everyone was like, your friend? And I was like, yeah, my friend Lewis. And they were like, he's not your friend. He definitely wants to be more than your friend. And I was like, no, we're friends. And they were like, no, hun. No, friends don't buy you a beautiful bunch of flowers like that. And I was like, oh.
It's kind of sad that friends don't buy you.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just hadn't even considered us as anything more because you lived so far away. I just had to like compartmentalize you as anything more.
Yeah.
I just remembered a little side note actually. When I first matched with you, I was showing my friend Kat, look at this guy I've matched with. He's really cute. And she was like, oh, he's cute. Who's his friend? And I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Fair.
We should have tried to hook them up actually. Anyway, yeah, so that happened. And that was obviously the moment that I realized that we were not friends, or, Lewis didn't want to be friends.
No, I had different intentions for sure. And then...
So you'd already decided at this point, just to clarify, that you were going to move back to the Gold Coast, right?
Yeah, I was going to move back to the Gold Coast.
Yes.
And I told you that. I told you that I was going to move back. And then I made it very clear. I made it very clear of my intentions. I said, hey, look, what do you think about me taking you out a date in March?
I think it'll be fun.
And this is like 3 months late, like in the future.
It was more. So November, December, January, February, March, 4 months away. I was like, whoa, you're really lovely. I love the flowers. I love the idea of dating you, but to commit 4 months in advance, I was like, it's a bit far away, isn't it? It's a bit soon. And I know that you're like, you love to plan ahead.
I do, yeah.
That's your thing, is thinking like, what's going to be the next thing that I focus on. So it's really sweet that you asked.
Yeah. However, it's just way too far in advance.
Yeah. So I just was like, oh, look, it's not a no, but it just doesn't feel like a hell yes. Like it's so far away.
Yeah.
Let's reevaluate when you get here. And you were like, that's cool. I was just checking. We're on the same page.
I did.
Because I guess at that point it was like, are we friends, or is there potential? Do you think there could be something? That's kind of what you were saying.
Well, that's what I messaged you saying. Yeah. Essentially, like, look, I fully intend to take you out. How do you feel about that kind of thing? Yeah.
Just to gauge. Like, do you fancy me?
Pretty much.
It's literally like when you're 6 and you're like, do you fancy me? Or like, remember when you were in like school discos or something and you'd send your mate over to tell someone that you like, my friend fancies you. And the friend would be in the corner like, no, don't stop. I didn't tell him to say that. Yeah, she's the one there in the corner. Yeah. It's like that. It's like that.
Yeah.
I fancy you, but you just phrased it in adult ways. And
I did.
it was very cleverly worded.
Thank you.
Yeah, there was a few
Appreciate it.
messages that you sent that were cleverly worded. The one after as well. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yep.
So this was in November. You went home.
I went home to Scotland to surprise my parents and my
Yeah.
family for Christmas, and then I went to Bali for 2 months.
We still spoke on FaceTime
Pretty
quite a bit then
much.
as well.
Yeah, we did. We spoke on FaceTime when I was at home, and then we rang each other in Bali. I
Yes.
remember that because I was in my Airbnb in Uluwatu.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I moved back to the Gold Coast. Eventually, and then
That was in February.
That was in February. So
And
I
it was a few
cut my
days before
trip
your
short.
birthday.
Cut my trip short. It was a few days before my birthday. Sarah said,
He was
"Look,
itching to get back to me, his one true love. So
that's
he cancelled
not right.
his. Oh, that's the story I've been
I
telling
cancelled
myself.
my whole trip just for you."
But
No.
our whole relationship rides on that story. I thought that you.
Well, that's wrong.
Oh dear. Oh gosh. I've been living a lie.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. No, I'm kidding.
Just leave. Relationship podcast? Solo podcast?
The podcast is cancelled.
Cancel. No.
So you moved here.
I moved here, yeah. I
thought,
here.
oh yay, a new friend.
I bet you did, because then I said, hey, look.
No, hang on. Don't miss out the part where we spent a lot of time together. We went to IKEA together.
Okay.
And got you bits for your new apartment. I took you
Yeah, we
to
did.
buy your car.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I took you to introduce you to Cold Nips, which is like the ocean swim group that we go to every Wednesday morning.
Yeah, connection, coffee.
Yeah, so I took you to that. Like, I
Nice.
think you came round to my apartment at like
I got
4 a.m. in the morning.
I
You
got
got an Uber.
at
Yeah,
4
4
a.m.
a.m. That was like commitment.
I know, committed
I was
to
like,
the cause.
if this man, sorry, I didn't date boys. Bleh.
How dare you say
If this
that?
man is going to show up at my apartment at 4 a.m.,
Then he
then
must be keen.
he is keen.
Yeah.
And he, you know, I like that you got up early. That definitely would have gone.
I
It
mean,
wouldn't have gone
I
unnoticed.
am integral to my words.
Yeah. But I also thought, like, is he a morning person?
Very much so.
Yeah, I didn't
As
know
you
that at the
found
time.
out.
I was like, this is a real test
Mm.
of this man's integrity.
Mm.
And
There you
you
go. Nailed it.
passed. Flying fucking colours.
Nailed it.
Anyway, yeah, so we did like loads of little things
Yeah,
together.
we
Spent
did a
quite a
few
bit of time
bits.
together.
And then I finally plucked up the courage to say, hey,
Were you scared? Were you like, oh, how do I? Was
not
it like a big thing?
particularly, but it's still like, I was still unsure of where we were, right? And prior to our conversations beforehand, I just like didn't really know where I stood. And that was fine. So I just thought I'd
Whip out the
Whip
question.
out the,
Recycle the question.
I fully intend on taking you out still.
No, you said, "Hey, I've just remembered
Oh,
that text that I sent you
convenient.
in November. Would you look at that? It's just popped back in my head again. Oh, there it is. I've just remembered that, as if you weren't dwelling on it for the last like 3 weeks. Like, I need to ask. What is it? Anyway, so yeah, you're like, I've just remembered that I asked you that I was going to ask you out, basically.
Yeah.
To go for dinner. Do you think we're too far in the friend zone now, or shall I book a table on Sunday? I was outraged.
Well,
That's great, by the way, right? Your text is great.
Well, I mean,
So
yeah,
we're
it
missing
is
like a
great.
key piece of information from this story already, is the fact that I was chasing very emotionally unavailable men
Yes.
and had this really horrible pattern of choosing men that were toxic and emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
So when you showed up with your secure, masculine, like, I'm going to take charge and I'm going to be consistent and talk about my intentions, I was like, oh my God, why are you so available?
Disgusted.
Literally.
Really?
I was like, I literally thought, how rude. What if I'm not available on Sunday? Shouldn't he ask if I'm available on Sunday? That was literally my thoughts. And I know, like, when I look back now, I'm like, shut the hell up, Sarah. Like, that's such a lovely thing. You worded it so well. Like, you, like, made your intentions clear.
Mm.
You took the lead, which is all the things that I was saying I wanted, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, I really want, why is everyone so emotionally unavailable? Like, I just want someone emotionally available. And then you came along and I was like, oh, why is this emotionally available person in the way? Excuse me, I'm you're in the way. I'm chasing the unavailable ones. Like, it was ridiculous. So
Yeah.
that was the one piece of information that we were missing, is that I had this terrible, terrible, terrible pattern,
Yeah, you did.
which played into the story, and we'll continue to talk about that. But yeah, so you'd ask me on the date again.
and you said no because
Again.
you're again, and
Rightfully so, though, because I was dating someone
Yeah.
else at the time.
And-
A terribly emotionally available person, by the way. Sorry, not a terrible person. They were very emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
Nice person,
and
emotionally
I made it clear that was absolutely fine. I just wanted to check that we were in the same sort of headspace and the same boat.
And I think you said something like,
then-
"That's great. We can start speaking about our dates together then."
I did, yeah. I mean, because we'd not spoken about anything like that
No,
prior.
no, because
I think we were both like edgy about opening up that
Yeah, I
discussion
definitely was
because
hesitant.
so was I,
yeah,
and because of I don't know,
you maybe didn't want to ruin chances.
possibly,
Or something,
yeah,
perhaps.
possibly.
Yeah, we haven't really spoken about this before, have we?
No,
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Like not wanting to, like maybe ruin the chances or offend the other person. Like I think I was definitely holding back because I didn't want to maybe upset you because you'd made your intentions very clear. And I think I was probably waiting for that question to come again. And when it came, I was like, damn it, fuck, I thought he'd forgotten.
of course. But then up until that point, if you knew I was an emotionally available person and a healthy masculine man, would you not have thought, oh, okay, I can tell this guy who I've known for 10, 12 months that I'm not interested and I'll be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just didn't want to have the. I think part of what plays into that is that I knew I did like you.
Yeah.
But I was dating this person.
You're dating this other person. Yeah. And that was fine. So I went off after this. I ended up dating a couple of
Shagging
people.
a load of other birds. No, I'm joking.
No, I didn't.
Okay, you didn't.
I dated a couple of other people, and then all of a sudden,
Okay.
I was dating this person.
Okay,
and
let me explain.
On the Monday night, who pops up?
Hit me! So I did some really deep inner work at the start of that year and realized my disgusting pattern of choosing emotionally available men.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'll do a whole episode on that pattern because I think there's a lot to be learned
There's
from that.
a lot to dissect.
Yeah, and there's a lot of lessons in that I would really love to share, and I know that they would be really valuable. I think a lot of women can relate to having the really frustrating pattern of choosing emotionally available people.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot from that.
Yeah.
I did a lot of reflecting,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time, I had a list of what I wanted in a guy, and it was nothing egotistical. I kind of had two. I had two things one list that was about how I wanted to feel in a relationship, and one list of things that I wanted the guy to have or bring. So it was nothing egotistical, nothing appearance based. It was more values based than anything and feelings based. And so after going through and doing all this work and finishing dating that guy, I just had this realization. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like every time I spend time with Lewis, because at this point we'd been hanging out as friends. We'd been like getting pizzas and going for beach days and like whatever else. And I just always remember thinking, oh, I feel so secure and happy and like my weird self when I'm with him. Yeah. And then I was kind of like, holy shit, these were the feelings that I wanted to have in a relationship. So then I looked at my list and compared Lewis to my lists. And I thought, oh my God, he's the whole freaking list. Okay, there was only one thing that I didn't know. I didn't know whether he wanted kids in the next 2 to 3 years because we just hadn't spoke about it. But I was like, okay, other than that, he's the whole freaking list. So then I was like, what am I going to do? Oh my God, he's the list. And he was interested in me, but now he's dating someone else. And oh God. So I just, I wrote this text on my phone on a Monday at work and I just left it sat there without hitting send. Mm-hmm. I had it written and I wrote something along the lines of, hey, I can't stop thinking about us. And I want to talk to you. When are you free? Or something like that.
Yeah. So you texted me saying, hey, I can't help but think about the possibility,
wonder about the possibility of us. Yes, that was it.
When do you reckon we can have a chat?
Can we talk?
Yeah, can we talk about it? And immediately after seeing this message, I was like, oh, fuck.
I threw my phone at this point. And I was like, throw phone. It was one of those throw phone moments. You know, you sent like a risky, dangerous text and you're like, throws phone. You know, you launch it across the room and you're like, I can't even, no, I didn't want to see the reply. Like it was one of those texts.
Yeah. And then after seeing that text, I sat down and I was like, okay, let's deal with this.
Deal with it?
Not deal with it. Excuse me.
You said deal with it.
Let's
deal with this situation.
Well, it was a situation because I was dating someone and the person who I've been pursuing for the past like year and a half finally comes to her senses and says, "Hey, let's talk about the possibility of us." Of course, I was like elated.
Okay, so elated is a nicer word than deal with it. Anyway, I'm just being picky on your words.
Do you know what? Sarah
throws microphone. Ow!
Sarah's progesterone is dipping at the moment. No, sorry, it's rising.
No, it's rising.
Your progesterone is rising at the moment, and your estrogen is dropping. And
Yeah,
we've came to the
so
crossroads.
Yeah.
So this is the
sad for
time
me.
in the cycle when
I need
Sarah's
biscuits.
just a little bit irate, and that's okay. So she keeps on jabbing.
Irritable.
Very irritable.
I just love you so much.
I know you do, darling. I know.
I'm just.
Sometimes it hurts my feelings, and that's why I take some time just to not talk. Because I need to compose myself before I say anything.
This is a great first episode, everyone. No, it is. It's great. But yeah, no, it's funny. You said deal with it. It's in my head. It sounded like. What did it sound like? I've got to deal with this situation. Like, you know, a pissed off boss that's going to deal with his like nuisance team or something. But no, there was another word that you used.
Elated.
Elated.
I was elated, darling. So I rang you.
Regrets it now.
Did I ring you? No. I think we messaged.
No, we were messaging.
And you're like,
back and forth.
let's do it our Wednesday or Thursday, whenever you're free. I was like, no, this is on the Sunday night that you messaged me. I was like,
no, it was Monday.
It was the Monday night. I was like, no, I'll come around right now.
Yeah, I was in work. No, yeah, I was in work, and you're like, no, I can come around tonight. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake, here he goes again with his availability. I was like, why is he so available? Jesus. But really, I was like, okay, fuck, we're gonna have to do this tonight. We're having this conversation tonight.
So we went out for a walk.
You came round, and I was gonna make us tacos, and we went for a walk first. This is funny, actually.
Yeah, we went for a walk up and down
the beach.
Yeah,
and like walked really slow and did not speak about the thing that we intended on speaking about.
No.
So I was like, oh, they're nice shells on the sand. Oh, is that sand? Would you look at the color of the sky? I love stars. Oh, I really like the sound of anything to avoid the topic. I was like, just say it, just bring it up. I was like, I can't. Like, that was my inner dialogue. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Just say it. And you were like, obviously just waiting for me to bring it up because I was the one that had initiated the whole thing in the first place. 100%. So then when it was finally pitch black and we had to walk home, I was like, it's the reason I brought you here today.
Literally.
And I just explained everything. I kind of explained my ugly pattern and about some sort of sticky things with previous relationships and how I just was like so... Your availability was so unfamiliar to me, and that scared me, and it felt unsafe because it was so unfamiliar. Yeah. Even though it was what I knew I wanted and what I was saying I wanted, I pushed you away. I'd realized on that weekend before I sent you that message that I'd been pushing you away because I was scared because you were what you said you were. And like I said, that felt so unfamiliar and unsafe. So. And I knew that we could be something if we wanted to. Like, it was a scary thought. It was like, after all these like toxic relationships, I could finally get the thing that I wanted, but I'm like, oh shit, am I ready for the thing? So
it turns out you were.
But we actually had to take it really, really slow.
Well, we did.
And like to transition from friends into not friends, that was like a really interesting space as well.
It was such an interesting space, but I feel like we navigated it really well.
We did, because our communication is so great. Like, every time, I think I said to you, like, look, I just want you to know, because we're both anxious attachment style. What do you do?
Something tickling my nose.
He's picking his nose on our first podcast, everyone. This is wonderful.
You know when a hair...
This is just
you
us.
won't know, but a hair like curls up and like tickle my nose. I just try to like...
Mute it. Unlocked.
Sorry.
I'm joking. Oh, man, I'm joking. So we both had really good communication about it. And...
We did.
Like I said, I knew that we both had anxious attachment styles. Mm-hmm. You know, anxious, secure, but we had the potential to be quite anxious partners. Yeah. So I knew that... Basically, when you were leaning in, I wanted to pull away because it felt so scary. Even though I'm anxious, and that sounds like I'm avoidant, it was just in this situation because it was so new and unfamiliar that it made me feel avoidant. And I would, every time you would lean in, like say, for example, you would say, let's hang out, or like energetically lean in, you know, just like make a gesture or suggest doing something. I would always kind of feel like, oh God, like, oh, this feels really scary and nice, but scary. And like, I'm going to pull away. So I knew that was what I was doing. And I knew that had the potential to impact you. So I just clearly communicated to you and said, hey, look, I'm noticing that I'm feeling quite closed off and maybe a little bit avoidant. And that's not how I normally am. I just am aware of how that might impact you. And I don't want you to notice that and pick up on that and think that I'm not interested. I am. I think we're just going to have to take this slow because I'm just not used to being with someone that's interested.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to find someone that's interested and
Yeah.
like committed and consistent. So it just felt very unfamiliar. But with that communication, like with that clear communication, that then allowed you to be patient and not to get in your head and create those stories around like, oh God, maybe she isn't interested. And because you knew exactly what was going on for me.
Yeah, for sure. I think I could read it on your body language and your face and how you
Petrified. No.
you genuinely like were just carrying yourself. I could tell that it was just a process that you're moving through, and I just had to be patient with that, and I was.
And you had been very patient up until that point anyway, so
Yeah,
what was another couple of months?
Exactly, to then say yes and then ask me to be more patient. Whoa. Nah, it was more than fine. I'd rather that you're comfortable
Yeah,
whenever
and
we start this process, and because obviously I've been pushing you for quite a while. And
you've been asking politely. I wouldn't even say pushing.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of creepy.
Yeah,
but, yeah, pursuing you, stalker.
Oh, you said pursuing. I thought you said pushing.
No, pursuing.
I've been pushing you for a while. I was like, whoa, I wouldn't call it push. Pursuing sounds.
Pursuing.
Oh, pursuing doesn't sound that creepy.
Really?
Okay, yeah, it kind of does. Yeah,
it's like stalker vibes.
Yeah, scrap that. You're not a pursuer. You were consistently inquiring. There we go.
It's a better way of putting it.
This is the same. It's literally the same as
Yeah.
pursuing. Anyway, where were we? Oh, being patient.
Yeah.
The importance of being patient.
100%. I think coming from a guy, switching from the friend dynamic, I think it requires a lot of patience, especially on the guy's point of view, because the temptation to then lean in really heavy because you've finally got that carrot that you've been chasing for so long. And it's very easy to get overwhelmed with that feeling.
That makes
but
sense.
to try and rein it in is a
that
whole
hard?
different skill. A little, yeah.
Oh,
A little, yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I think, because obviously whenever you fancy someone and you start a new thing, it's so fresh and exciting, and all you want to do is rip their clothes off and shag them. Right?
And I was like, so we're going to wait a while.
And I was more than happy because I just wanted you to feel happy and comfortable.
Yeah.
And
otherwise I would have run away. I know
Exactly.
I would have remained closed off.
Exactly.
And I would have thought, this is too much. This isn't what I want.
Exactly.
And I'm so glad that you were patient.
Yeah. And I just gauged the situation, because if you didn't come to me and say like you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable and we're not sure how to, like,
I wasn't feeling.
navigate,
Okay, I was.
well, you were navigate the whole like dating thing after being friends for so long. If you didn't say that, then I would have tried it on or been more. Well, I would have tried it on. I would have initiated a lot sooner than what we did.
It was only 4 weeks, by the way.
It was.
You're wondering, it was literally 4 weeks.
But yeah.
And I'd made it clear, hadn't I? I said, look, I want us to wait. I want us to build like an intimate connection without that. Because it's so easy to get caught up in like all the feel-good hormones post-sex and think that that's a meaningful, strong connection. 100%. And I didn't want to do that. I thought, I really want to make something of this. I really want to be sure that we have a solid connection and it isn't just based on like oxytocin. Essentially. Yeah,
literally oxytocin and fucking.
And also, I didn't want to like scare myself. I didn't want to like run away and be like, oh my God, we moved too fast. Like, it's like, okay, we'll 4 weeks isn't even long anyway. Let's be honest. We spent quite a lot of time together.
Yeah, we did. I think we spent at least 4 to 6 days out of the 7 together in the first 4 weeks of our relationship. I wasn't enjoying it very much.
And we didn't slow down.
No, we didn't. But yeah, that was our. And then we've just been dating since, really.
Yeah, and dating. Are we still dating? Oh, shit.
Oh my God, no.
I'm going back on Bumble then.
Me too.
Oh, not backfired. No, shit. But there's like a lot more to the story if you like break things down, like our attachment styles and how that played into it, our communication and how that played into it, my toxic patterns of choosing emotionally unavailable people, and we will get to those kind of topics eventually.
And then, there's also, from a guy's perspective, moving through different environments, different workplaces, trying to really figure out not only like where I stand in the world, but then trying to navigate that with someone that you really care for, was quite challenging. For a start, I think last year, for me at the start of last year anyway.
Yeah, so we can get into all these little extra stories and like the lessons that we took from
there's
it.
Plenty. We're just keeping it nice
We're
and light.
just getting started.
Oh my god! Yes, we are. So yeah, we are going to start with something called weird moments. All right. So this is
the week.
Yeah, weird moments of the week. So this is where we pick a moment out of the week where either I've done something that's really weird,
or funny,
or interesting, or just one of those things. And I pick one for Sarah. So if Sarah's done something like really weird or interesting or just outlandish, really, this is our personal weird moments of the week. So do you want to go first, Az?
Have you got yours?
Have I got mine?
For me, I'm not asking you to answer it right now. But I'm just curious because.
No, I don't. But I've got one in the back of my head, and I think it's quite funny.
As in, like, you can't remember, but it's just in the back of your head.
Yeah, I can't remember the full story.
Good back there.
But yeah, have you got one for me?
Yeah.
Okay, hit me.
This is a stupid thing, and you literally did it like 2 hours ago.
Oh god.
When we went to Woolworths. So we went to Woolworths. We wanted to get some like podcast snacks. So podcast snack. We today are fueled by some Remedy. Are we allowed to say? Yeah, we can say how we want. Remedy kombucha and licorice sweets. All my friends will know
no
exactly
idea what they are. Yeah, anyway, raspberry twist things
and biscuits because I'm obsessed. Anyway, we went to get some snacks for podcasting, and Lewis picked up my sweets, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I don't know if I really want them. And he said, fine, and launched them full force into the shelf, to which they bounced off and exploded all over the floor. And I was like, oh, baby, I think that was a little bit too far.
It was.
We were always a bit stupid not stupid in the store, but just a little bit more playful, aren't
just we? Silly.
And I was like, oh, baby, that was a bit too far. Yeah. And you literally like hung your head and like knocked your knees together and were like, oh, I feel like I'm in trouble. And I was like, yeah, it just was a little bit much, wasn't it? And I was like, all sweets all over the floor. And I was like,
it's funny.
Sake, you always have to take it too far.
I do have to take it too far.
You do always go too far.
I do always go too far, and my family will back that up as well. 100%. You'll come to learn that I'm really silly.
I do know you.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to listeners. What are you on about?
I was like, does he think I don't know this?
Sorry, I should have said the listeners.
Thank you. Yeah, if you could please address them as the listeners. So yes. I don't think you're telling me about me. I'm sure there's good things that I'll learn about you. There's lots to learn about you.
Of course, darling. Okay, so your weird moment of the week.
What have I done?
It came. What day was it? It's almost. I find it cute and it's funny. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say the thing that you do every morning.
No.
So whenever I get up early for work, so I'm usually up a lot earlier than Sarah is. So I get up, I go for a shower, have my breakfast and stuff like that. And just before I go,
we have a rule.
Just before I go out or leave, I have to go into the bedroom and give Sarah a little kiss and say I love you and then leave.
I also have to do the same for you if I'm up before you.
You do. It's very rare.
Are you attacking? I feel attacked. This is an attack.
It's not
You're calling me lazy? I knew it.
See what I mean? Progesterone through the roof.
Just give me a biscuit and I'll be fine.
Can you just let me tell my story,
sorry.
Please? We've spoken about this. Okay, so whenever I come into the bedroom, Sarah is always tucking the pillow under her head.
No, over my head.
Over your head, and like grabbing it by the corner and putting it to your face. And I don't understand why. I think it's to block out the
noise.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I always have to peel up the pillow to say, okay, I'm going, bye-bye. You're like...
He's doing a gremlin face.
I've
For
got
those of you who can't see.
Yeah. A gremlin face, like, trying to, like, figure out where they are. Where I am, sorry. And with your hair, like, everywhere. Try to give me a kiss in the darkness. With your eyes closed.
I put my arms out sometimes.
Yeah,
I think,
try to put your arms out.
I don't even open my eyes.
Trying to cuddle me. And I'm like, oh. Okay.
Hello, little gremlin girlfriend.
But yeah, that's a cute little weird thing you do every week.
And I probably look horrendous, but thank you for calling me cute. This is why I love you.
You're cute.
You see me at my worst and you call it cute.
Ditto, darling. Ditto.
That's true.
Okay, so another thing that we're actually going to bring in is our hot tip, our top tip of the week.
Mm-hmm. Smoke it.
I know. Our top tip of the week this week is if you are in a relationship out there and want to put something in place to check in on your partner. So we always do a monthly check-in, but we actually recommend for new-ish couples to do a weekly check-in just with each other. What it does is just establish a really safe and secure place for you to ask for what you need if you feel like you need something. If you went through a week and you felt frustrated in one sort of period of the week with your partner or whatever it might have been, and things could have just been handled a bit differently, and it gives you an opportunity to then talk about that during that week. And I think it's a really good thing to implement. It just improves your communication too.
It gives you an opportunity to communicate in a safe way, like 100%. You said. Yeah. And like, people seem to think that when you get into a relationship, you don't need to take action on it. It's like, oh, thank God I've got the relationship. Now I can take my foot off the gas, not give a fuck, kick my feet up on the couch and just relax and be in this relationship that I worked hard to get. But like, a healthy relationship does take work and consistent work. And I just think that like, if you had, a problem with your car, you wouldn't not take it to the garage because you need your car to get around. If you had a toothache, you would go to the dentist because you just wouldn't want to suffer the toothache. Like, in every other area of our life, we take action towards maintaining and looking after things. Why on earth do we not do that in our relationships? So this is our top tip, is essentially, like Lewis said, to have a weekly check-in. And we say weekly because I think at the beginning, I think for a lot of people, if they're choosing to listen to a podcast about healthy relationships, chances are they maybe aren't in one, or they want to enhance a relationship and are starting from the beginning. So we say weekly because we do monthly, because sometimes we don't have a lot to say about how we could improve our relationship. Sometimes we're really nitpicking on things and like scraping the barrel to try and find something. So if we were to do it weekly, it would be quite tedious, but we recommend doing it weekly to begin with, then potentially fortnightly, and then monthly, just until you find a flow, you iron out some of the sort of more main creases, and find a little bit more of like a baseline happiness and stability in your relationship.
Yeah, 100%. I think everything that Sarah said is so prevalent. I think starting from the start with your weekly check-ins, we actually do have a form that we use.
Yes, we created a form for ourselves.
Yeah, we have. So if you are ever interested in that form, just as a little prompt, then please get in touch with us and we can send you that.
I think we have like 8 or 10 questions on there. But what we'd recommend you doing is actually setting a time in your calendar when you're both free and when you both know that you're going to be grounded and in a clear headspace. So maybe not like 5 p.m. as soon as you finish work, you have a stressful job. That's probably not the time and place to have your weekly check-in together. No. You want it to be a time and a place and a moment where you both are calm and grounded and relaxed and in an environment where you feel safe, like you're home, just sitting on the couch. It doesn't have to be like a formal thing. Like sometimes we do it over dinner, don't we? Like we'll be sitting out in a restaurant doing it over dinner. Or
we did it this week actually over dinner.
Yeah, it was like some live music going on in the background and we were just telling each other how much we love each other and going through our questions. Question number 4.
I love you.
The thing is like, shut up, you suck. No, that definitely didn't happen. But yeah, to be intentional with it and to, like, Lewis and I love calendar invites. Anyone that knows me as well knows how much I freaking love a calendar invite. Yeah. So send it to each other as a calendar invite so that you don't forget and you keep each other accountable for it. Because relationships take work. And like I said, so does everything else in your life. Everything else needs work and requires time and effort. So please don't think for 1 second that you don't have to put effort into your relationships, because you definitely do.
Very well said, darling. And on that note, we are going to wrap up this episode.
It was our first ever.
Okay. Congratulations. We did a good job. We did the thing.
Baby, yeah.
That was a high five, if that wasn't clear.
No, it wasn't. He pretended to hump me.
Sarah?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up there. Take care. God bless.
Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you so bloody much. You are the best.
If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us on Apple or Spotify, whatever you prefer. And don't forget to check out the Instagram page at TDHR Podcast.
Information on how you can write your questions into us will also be in the show notes. Till next time. Mwah.